Allan Aguirre with your Incorruptible 2-minute warning. Day 2, we're talking about K.I.S.S. Keep it simple, stupid. I brought up yesterday, I talked about a guy that I knew that was very surprised. This guy's an intellectual, and he was very surprised that I bought into, subscribed to, let alone submit my life to the biblical narrative. Based on, well, what about the canonization? What about all the discrepancies when it comes to the compilation and the writers and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't question those things, but I also believe in this. And he didn't understand that. But anyway, so for example, the Bible clearly says God hates divorce. I hate divorce. And the only allowance we have for a letter of divorce is sexual immorality, fornication, adultery, But even then, he says, I would rather that you reconcile and not get a divorce. But divorce is rampant in Christianity. And so what we do is we ignore what the actual text says. That's called keeping it simple. And we come up with, well, I asked God, and God said I could divorce my spouse because of... And then their feelings, their own reasoning, leaning on their own understanding. When you start altering the biblical text because of your prejudices or because of what you want it to say, because how you want to live your life, or because of your denominational constraints, when you start altering what it says and then living a life contrary to what it actually says, you're not keeping it simple. The text isn't broken. When it says that the Sabbath is evening to evening, to suggest that it's otherwise, morning or whatever, doesn't make it right because you think so.
The views and opinions expressed during our broadcasts are solely those of the broadcast producers, hosts, and/or guests, etc., and are not necessarily the views or opinions of the Travelog Network, its sponsors, or affiliates.